So the Final Four is set, and Duke, who was the overwhelming favorite all season long, and the story of college basketball all season long because of Zion Williamson, not in the Final Four. Even given that recruiting class, which that's the reason they were number one heading into the season, and they're great players. They're going to probably be great pros. They didn't break through. That's a huge disappointment, and I'm now changing my language.
CBS.
Cakes and I were quite happy when Michigan State, like there was one point, we had a listener who joined us at the Xfinity store yesterday, and we're watching on this giant screen, and he declared the game over when Duke went up by 9 points in the first half. I think it was 30
It was so
21.
early. I was like, what are you talking about? I mean, this is Michigan State. They've been to a million Final Fours. Tom Izzo, all he does is get his team to Final Fours in March and April.
And there were
You're
such
gonna count
swings.
him out?
If you watched any of these games in these tournaments, the swings were unbelievable.
And Cakes would get on the mic every once in a while at the Xfinity store, and I at one point he used the word hate. And remember, we just had John Feinstein on, and I'm not going to say I hate Duke anymore. I root against Duke because John liked Twitter and tweeted Cakes back and tweeted me back after the game, which they escaped. Who did they play?
Virginia
UCF.
Tech.
UCF.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
UCF
and Virginia Tech.
Yeah, no, but it was the UCF game where I was like, I'll always hate Duke, and Cakes wrote something, and John Feinstein felt the need to tweet both of us back about it. So I'm not going to say I hate Duke, but I root against Duke. And I was, at that point of the game, I'm like, they're going to make it to the Final Four
Well, a couple
again.
things in this game. Yes, Duke had a big lead. Michigan State had a big lead. Duke, quite frankly, was bad in the game. And R.J. Barrett was bad in the game. And I believe he took one shot in the last 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of people are questioning their last possession.
Yeah.
Where he's your best player, probably going to be the number one pick in the draft. Although I'm starting to question whether he should be because he'll probably be a fantastic pro.
I would take him one overall.
He just puts his head
There's
down.
Who else would you take?
I just wonder against the trees. I don't know. Maybe I didn't see Morant play enough. Like
You're not taking
You're
Morant
not
over him. You love Morant, but you're not taking him over him.
If Zion is in, how the NBA is now, it's up and down.
I know that it'll probably work out in an up and down game. But
I mean, it's not like every team plays a half court.
He's so
in
explosive.
a half court game against big tall giants, and they're all big tall giants in the end. Game.
Well, I'll say this: his second jump is unbelievable.
I can't believe
the springiness on that guy is so sick.
Well, that's what I was telling Nance last week.
Pogo stick.
The fact that he can get up so easy for as big as he is. Yeah. I mean, he weighs nearly 295 pounds.
No, it's unbelievable.
And for him, how high are his arms over the rim?
Yeah.
And he
That
blocks
one
shots
rebound-
with his right hand and his left.
He's just a sick guy. You
He
have to
blocks
take
him on the
number one.
perimeter. He
But
pushes
the
him
reason-
against
but
the
you gotta-
basket.
The
you
reason
gotta
I
give him the
said that
ball.
Barrett was bad yesterday. Yeah, he had the 20 points, but he had 7 turnovers.
Yeah.
And Duke had 17 turnovers in the game.
He makes a lot of turnovers.
Well, also,
I
as they
like
were
his game,
pointing
though.
out, I think
No, he's very talented. I'm
He's
just saying,
really good.
I'm just saying he was bad in the game because every possession in the last 10 minutes were so critical, and he had a couple where they were just careless with the ball. Delorier was careless with the ball a couple times. They just did not take care of the ball enough to beat Michigan State.
Well, I thought they also kept pointing out that every time Zion would pull up for 3 and I hit a few, is settling. Like he should
Looked like he was
be
gassed a
attacking
little
the
bit.
basket more.
Yeah, he was probably gassed. I mean, they played their starting 5 basically for 40 minutes. Coach K didn't use much bench at all.
Well, we knew all along they were
Both teams
vulnerable.
didn't
We
use
said
that.
it all season.
Yeah, that's true.
Duke is talented, but they're vulnerable because they don't shoot particularly well, and it's just the nature of the tournament. I mean, look, apparently JP's got 3 of the 4 in his bracket. I'm pretty sure I went 0 for 4.
Right.
It's the nature of the tournament.
Yeah.
When I got out of the 4.
Yeah. It's,
But you know what? If you asked me to pick the teams that I picked, I would have no recall. So I did see that on 106.7 The Fan, they said that I picked 3 out of 4. I don't remember. I remember the one bracket which I care about. We had Gonzaga winning it all, and that's not going to happen.
Well, all
They had my son.
all 4 regional finals were fantastic games. And I said earlier that the Purdue-Virginia game was one of the best games I've seen in years. But Texas Tech-Gonzaga was back and forth, great game. Auburn-Kentucky game was great. Obviously, the Michigan State-Duke game. I mean, there were 4 spectacular games on the weekend.
I thought the crowd in D.C. represented really well. They sounded really loud. Like, you don't hear it like that for a Wizards game.
They
You
were
might for a Caps game.
Here's the question. And it was halftime. All right, so I didn't get to watch the second half of the Duke game. But as we're walking, there were still guys hawking tickets.
Yeah. Their
what is
hustle
a
was
ticket?
nonstop.
I actually asked one guy. I was like, how much does it go for? And he said something like it's negotiable.
Said something like it depends.
You probably take $10.
Yeah, I
mean, they're still hawking tickets at halftime.
But I give those guys credit that they never stop. They're gonna sell those tickets to the bitter
But
end.
fellas, it was surprising that Zion wasn't more involved in the last, like I said, 6.5 minutes of that game. He only took one shot.
But does he have, all right,
Or only made one basket.
I've seen him play a bunch, and he puts up great numbers every time. And
He's
I'm
going
sure
to be
he
a
will be
great pro.
Does he have a go-to move? Like, he doesn't have a turnaround jump shot. Is this move just put your head down and go straight to the basket?
I think he's got spin moves and up and unders.
I think his footwork is great.
Yeah, he's got great footwork in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, and he can, like you said, he's got pretty good touch, actually great touch around the basket for as big as he is. And, yeah, I mean, a lot of times he uses his size, but he's pretty damn quick, man. I mean, he can get from the top of the key to the rim.
Oh, he's so
like
quick.
that.
He's so quick.
I mean, they couldn't guard him.
Yeah, he's 1-1 easy.
But they just weren't good enough, and they were too careless with the ball, and you can't be that way against Michigan State.